What's up, YouTube? It's One Way Up here back with another video. And I know it's been a very long time since I've uploaded. It's been a few months now. And I decided to start uploading videos again because I recently hit 500 subscribers. And this is after not uploading for a few months. So I decided to give it another shot. And I'm going to not do the same category of videos that I was doing last time, but I'll kind of do different things and see which ones gain traction and go from there. So in this video, it's kind of like a follow-up video to what I've made years ago. I'm gonna put a link to the older video that I've made, but I made a video basically explaining how I love being left-handed and some of the benefits of it and why I'm happy about it, kind of for other left-handed people to watch and be proud of themselves for being left-handed. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how I taught myself how to write with my right hand. So like in that other video, I am naturally left-handed, but I did mention that I taught myself how to write with my right hand, and it did take some time to be able to do that. So part of this video is me showing you how I got to that point, or how my right hand writing is, and kind of giving advice to people who want to learn how to write with their non-dominant hand. So this isn't specifically for left-handed people, but for people that are right-handed that may want to learn how to write with their left hand or get some tips and tricks. So most of the population is going to be right-handed. I believe around 10 to 12% of the population is left-handed. Don't quote me on that exactly, but even a less percentage of the population is ambidextrous, meaning they can naturally write with both hands. That's more around like 1 to 3%. So most people are only going to be able to write with one hand, and it may be easier for left-handed people to learn how to write with their right hand because they're kind of forced to use their offhand a lot more than the average person. That's because most things are made for right-handed people. But it does take time to be able to develop a skill to write with your opposite hand if that's not how you were naturally born. So it does take skill to learn how to write with your opposite hand, and it's definitely not a quick process. I know some videos, or there's some people saying that it's something that can be done in a week or a month. My thing is, it took me years to be able to gain this trait. So for one, if you do want to learn how to write with your non-dominant hand, be prepared to grow through a long process. It's not going to be easy, but in a few years time, you will have a skill that no one can take away from you, and then you'll have for the rest of your life, which is being able to write with your non-dominant hand. So for me, I would say start doing things with your non-dominant hand. That's the first thing I would do. Things like brushing your teeth, drinking water, maybe tying your shoes, using an opposite hand to start doing something that you would normally start with your left hand. So those things can help get your offhand used to the motions of doing things, to get you more fine-tuned with the complexities of your fingers and hands, which will translate into writing. There's no scientific fact that says it'll translate into writing, but from a common sense point of view, you start to use your non-dominant hand to do more and more things on a daily basis that come naturally and easier over time. It'll definitely help with your writing. The next thing I did was, while I'm in school, being in school is actually a great situation to be in to practice, is that I would finish a sentence or the last word in a sentence or two with my right hand. And over time, you do a little, you might write a word here and there throughout as you're taking notes. Well, I don't know nowadays if people use computers more to write, but when I was in school, I graduated in 2012, I used to write a lot more. I know as of recent, when I was in college, people are using their laptops and tablets more to take notes. But for those of you who like to write and are in school, this is a great opportunity to take advantage of practicing with your non-dominant hand. So in writing, write some sentences or just start with words first. With your right hand, switch back to your dominant hand, or vice versa, whichever hand is dominant for you. And then over time, you'll start writing sentences with your right hand, and then switching back to your dominant hand. Then you might write a paragraph, and then switch back to your dominant hand. So it's a process. It takes time. It's slowly but surely, but your hand will get adjusted to the new motion that you're doing. So I'm going to show you an example of comparing my right hand versus my left hand in terms of writing. So even though I have practiced this for years, the way I hold the pen in my opposite hand is different than when I hold it in my dominant hand. The structure and the form of my letters are different, so it doesn't look like the same person wrote it. Maybe for other people it doesn't look like that, but that's just my experience. So let me just write a simple sentence with my dominant hand. So I'm just gonna write dominant. My handwriting is kind of sloppy, but this is my dominant hand, so I know it doesn't look the best, but just bear with me. The car went. You know what? My handwriting isn't this bad, but I'm trying to write around the camera. So the car went speeding down the street. Alright, so that's an example of my dominant handwriting. Now we're going to switch to my right hand. Just move this over. This is my non-dominant. So just going to do this. Dominant. The car went speeding down. So hard to do it from this angle, but as you can see, top is with my dominant hand, bottom is with my non-dominant hand, which I practiced over years of writing in school. But you guys can be the judge which one you think looks better. Right now it might look like my non-dominant hand looks slightly better, but for some reason it's easier to write from this angle with my right hand than with my naturally dominant left hand. But like I said, you guys want to learn how to do this too. It's no really simple, I mean, there's no complicated tips or things you need to do. It's just practice over time. Be dedicated, consistent, and you'll eventually be able to do it too. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.